Hey there friends, welcome back to FlossTube episode number 37. Today is December 19th, 2020. Hard to believe. My name is Liz, my company is Hello from Liz Matthews, and I'm excited to spend some time with you today on what will be the very last FlossTube episode of the year. That went so fast, you guys. It has been a wonderful, wild, weird kind of year, but I'm choosing just to focus on all of the happy, just heartwarming things that this year has brought to me, including this sense of community. You guys have welcomed me with open arms from my very first FlossTube to launching my business in January. It's made the world of difference as I've navigated this tricky year, right? Is that a good way to say it? It really just has made the biggest difference, and I'm so grateful for all of you and the friendships we've built, and that you let me share myself, my designs with you here. It just means so much. So today's episode is going to be on the shorter side because I'm following it up with my home tour. Yay! We did it. Joe helped me yesterday. We did 3 takes. It is way harder than I thought it was going to be honest. I've never been more aware of light balance and shadows and all the things, but he did a fabulous job, and I just want to give him a big shout out because I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. And I think that we'll continue to get better with every take. So I will talk about that towards the end. If you want to stick around and see how I've decorated our house and just get a glimpse inside our home, it will follow the regular FlossTube update that I have for you right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and dive into it because I think that home tour is maybe like 15-16 minutes. So I'll keep this shorter. I know it's a hectic and busy time for everybody right now. You probably have a million things on your to-do list, as do I. So let's just dive right in, shall we? Let's start with shop updates because I have a couple. I shared on Instagram. You can follow me there, please do. It is Hello from Liz Matthews, but I shared a couple days ago that I took off all of the physical patterns and designs from my shop because the post office is so slammed and so backed up right now that I was starting to get inquiries about people regarding their tracking numbers and where their packages were. And as a small business, that feels horrible because I think we all work so hard to get everybody what they want, to keep them happy, to offer the best possible customer service. So as my customers were getting their tracking numbers and see zero movement of their packages for over a week, I needed to just do something about it. So I took all the physical products out of my shop until after the holidays. If you would like to order paper physical copies of my charts, let me know. I will still send them to you, but I feel like I need to just have a conversation with you first so that you know how long the wait might be. I did put notifications and announcements in my shop on every single product before, in the description before people purchase it, but I think, in the holiday rush, things get lost. And the Baltimore area post offices, which is the area that we feed into, seem to be really particularly backed up. I sent Kia and Steph's Christmas presents on December 5th. They have not even been scanned into the system yet. So that's what we're all dealing with. No, I'm not alone. So anyway, I took the physical patterns out of my shop. Sorry, that was just a long rant about something that's been stressing me out for 3 weeks now. And what else did I want to say? Oh, when I am shipping my physical products again, probably in the new year when the post office has a chance to catch up, I did upgrade to the hard rigid mailer. So moving forward, all patterns shipped will come in that protective rigid mailer, which I am very happy to announce. I think that's all I have for shop news for you. I hope that all of you are having better luck with the post office and all mail carriers actually this time of year. I know it's stressful, but we can only do what we can do, and at some point it's out of your hands. Did you guys see that meme that was like, I don't know who needs to hear it, but you need to stop tracking that package because it is out of your hands. So true. In other FlossTube news, I did do a dedicated Days of Christmas series video that is posted just before this one. I can link it below for you, where I answer all of the frequently asked questions I get pertaining to that series. That series is, you know, the first day of Christmas, the second day of Christmas, the third day, and so on and so forth. So I get a lot of repetitive questions, and I thought it would just be great if you all had a place to go to hear me talk about the series and to hopefully answer any questions you have. So that is up and available for you to watch now. It is a FlossTube video. In that video, I chatted about, I don't want you guys to miss this. If you don't want to watch this video, there is a bit of information I want to share with you. Excuse me. Several people have said that they wanted to stitch the Days of Christmas samplers all together as one piece, and there were a lot of questions regarding that. So I did create a PDF of the large master border. I'm not sure what you want to call it, but basically this is a chart that you can print, download, and use if you're going to put all 12 days of Christmas together as one piece. And this has all of the pertinent information to that adaptation. This is like the back page that you find on all of my charts. Just for your knowledge, the overall stitch count would be 295 wide by 454 high. It's a big piece. So I go into way more detail in that video if you want to check that out, but just know that this is available for you. It's linked. It's a free PDF download in that last video. That's there. And then lastly, before we get into stitching and all the happy things, is I sent out a newsletter yesterday, so hopefully you get that. I have realized that the newsletter gets delivered, at least to me personally, in my promotions folder. So if you're a Gmail user, check your promotions folder, check your spam folder. I've heard that it goes there too, but that email did go out yesterday, and it's just my Christmas greeting to you, a few happy little links, and a hello. So be sure to sign up for that. Excuse me, you guys. It's nothing, just a tickle in my throat. I think I need more coffee. So check your email inbox for that. Those emails will continue to come in the new year. I have some really fun free things planned for you starting in January. So if you haven't signed up yet, please do sign up. It's not spammy. I don't share your information. You just get good things from me. So I will put a link in the drop down box below. It's a direct link. All you have to do is give me your email address and your first name, and that's it. And happy things will be delivered to you. And without further ado, I think we're scooting on to, you know, the stitching, the sharing, the regular FlossTube content. Before I dive in, that makes no sense what I just said. As I dive in, I want to give a shout out to a new FlossTube channel that I think most of you have probably already discovered. It is Modern Folk Embroidery FlossTube channel. Jacob did, I think, 2 videos so far, and they are fabulous. And I love that. I love listening to him. I could listen to him talk all day. He's just so calming and soothing and has so much information jam-packed in his videos. I just have to recommend his videos to you and shout him out. Not only are his designs wonderful, but he seems to have a really warm and genuine personality. So go give those videos a watch if you haven't already. Again, I will link him below. In his latest video, which came out this week, he talked about museums that have wonderful sampler and needlework collections, and he referenced the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, and that was just a trip down memory lane because I visited that museum maybe 20 years ago now, and he's talking about how way back when they had this amazing sampler collection that they stored in these pull-out drawers, and I went and studied all of those samplers on my, you know, what was it before digital cameras, when you had 24 exposures on your camera, and I snapped so many pictures and brought them home to share with Mom, because at the time she was the only designer in the family, and I remember that collection being really fantastic. So that was a fun trip down memory lane, and I thank Jacob for sharing that with me. He also shared 2 more collections. You'll have to watch his video to see what it was, but I was instantly like, okay, we're taking a road trip Essie trip, a trip abroad to study all of these fantastic collections. So it was just a spot of happiness. So go check him out and tell him I sent you, I guess. You'll love him for sure. So let's get into my stitching. I have 2 whips. I love having whips, you guys. One is the Prairie Schooler Santa that I have been working on. I think I have finished it. This is in my Stitchy Notions by Lisa quilted bag. Let me show you this Santa real quick. I wish I had a dark background for you. Don't I have one? Don't I have something around here? A light background. I don't know what I'm talking about. Here is the Santa as he is finished. I did end up changing the back stitching around his beard to DMC 646. It's just an overall lighter thread, so I think that stark contrast isn't as shocking to me as it was before. So at this point, I'm framing this baby up. It's going in this handed down to me Prairie Schooler frame. So I will get that stretched and stitched and wrapped for Mare because we are going to see her on Christmas Eve. Our Christmas is looking very, very different this year. Talked about it a bit in my newsletter that went out. We're not gonna see everybody this year, and we're not gonna have everybody in one place at one time. So we're gonna go visit with Mare on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, my mom will be joining us in the day for brunch and presents. Then we will go visit Joe's family for dinner, where we are planning on, we're a small family. It's me and Joe, Joe's sister, which is Jackie, her husband, and their baby, who's 3.5. Not a baby anymore, and his parents, but we're planning on eating in separate rooms. We're being very careful. And then hopefully the day after Christmas, I will get to see my dad. So it's all very small gatherings spread out. And it is what it is. How did I get on the subject? The Santa. So I'm gonna frame that Santa and bring it to Mare on Christmas Eve. Full circle here. And then the other piece I have to show you is a new start. This is in my most favorite Stitchy Notions by Lisa bag, that Rifle Paper Company fabric that I love. This is a new start. You haven't seen this before. It's new enough that I can share it with you, and here it is. That's all there is to it for now. You can see I started it the wrong direction over here. Eventually I will have to frog that out, but you know, not until I have to. So that's my start on this piece. This is on 40 count cottage stone from Color and Cotton, a beautiful linen from a fabulous company, and I'm stitching this with needlepoint silk. More on that later. Someone did ask me in my latest regular floss tube what I was talking about when I said a Ort book. They wanted some more details. So this is a product that Stitchy Notions by Lisa makes as well. Let me give you a close-up. It's that quilted fabric, and it comes with a button and this is a leather closure. And what it is a book. Lisa's are stiff, which is really nice, that closes and has felt over here, so you can see it's holding all of my threads for this piece that I'm working on. So you're not always having to rewrap all of your threads back onto your skeins, your bobbins, whatever you use. I mean, this is a lot to try to hold on there, but it holds everything right there for you. And I just love this because you are working, you get to a stopping point, you close it, seal it, stick it in your stitching bag, and it's there waiting for you the next time you're ready to stitch. So that is an Ort book. I think Lisa's shop is not open right now for the holiday season, and she tends to sell out. So maybe go give her shop a follow on Etsy, and then as soon as she has more items in there, you'll be alerted and you can get an Ort book for yourself. So from here, I have just a little bit of happy mail that I've received. One quick thing I want to share with you, and then I will leave you with the home tour. All right, I got my Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month piece of fabric in the mail. This would be November, I believe. I'm not sure of the exact month that this is, but look away if you have not received one piece of linen from her recently and you are in the Fabric of the Month Club. I don't want to spoil it for you. Okay, ready? Look at that. 40 count Newcastle linen in the colorway Bellini. Isn't that so pretty? I just love everything they make, and they recently moved to new facilities, bigger facilities, better facilities, and I'm so happy for Angela because I know that they'll be able to pump out even more gorgeous linen for us stitchers, and I can't wait to see what is to come, and I'm so happy for her. So that was my Neutral Linen Club Fabric of the Month piece, and I do believe, I'm so sorry if I'm wrong, that her linen clubs are open again for registration. So you might want to pop over there and see if you can't sign up because it's so good, and who doesn't need to stash linen right about now? In addition to that, I also received another copy of A Needlework Enthusiast 2021 Book of Days. If you saw in my last FlossTube video, the postal service kind of mangled my book. It was not the fault of the shop, but rather the postal service. And Vicki saw it and she was so kind and wanted to send me a fresh, crisp book, and I gladly accepted. I can't wait to start using this. It starts January 1st, and we talked about it in my last FlossTube video, but like, look at that gorgeous antique piece. And then in the back you also have grid for charting, a note page, which I think is really handy, and I just love all the little quotes and pieces of information throughout. So they did a great job on this. I know many stitchers out there on FlossTube use the Book of Days, and I'm excited to do the same with my new fresh crisp copy. Thank you so much, Vicki. Really appreciate that. So you can get your hands on these from some of your favorite shops or reach out to Needlworkpress, who publishes this book, and Vicki can point you in the right direction of where you can get your hands on one. So that is my happy mail. I was the lucky recipient of a Christmas card from Cindy. I think a lot of us know Cindy from Instagram. She is Cindy Stitches. She is a constant source of inspiration, of friendliness. She stitches beautiful pieces, and I'm so happy that I got to connect with her this year. I hope that one day we can meet in person because she's just in Virginia. I'm here in Maryland, and that would be so nice. So she sent me a very sweet Christmas card, and in it there was a skein of XJuDesigns thread in Mariska's red. Now, I have never used any XJuDesign products at all, so this was a real treat for me. This thread is gorgeous. Look at that variegation. I'm very excited to use this on a monochromatic piece, and it really does inspire me to check out their linens and threads as well. So thank you so much, Cindy. I wish you a very Merry Christmas. I will let you know that I have not been to the post office to check my P.O. box lately. There was a day that I was gonna go check on all my packages that hadn't arrived and just, touch base, and I don't know what I expected. They're just gonna tell me they're working so hard and they're inundated, which I know, but I just thought I'd swing by and check it out and get my P.O. box mail. I couldn't even get to the parking lot because the line of cars was so long that people were waiting for customers to leave to take their parking spot, and I was like, this is not a good idea, and I came home. So if you have sent me anything, I very much look forward to getting it at my P.O. box. I just haven't made the trek down there. I think once the mailing season spike is over, I will get there and I will share everything that I received in a future FlossTube, and I thank you in advance for sending it my way. Lastly, I have two shares for you. One is something that I got while ago, but I just haven't shared it in a floss tube video. And it is, I need a background for this as well. Linen. Linen's perfect. One is a piece of antique ephemera. These are Dressden paper labels. They're thin, they're paper, they're silvery, and they're made by the company Dressden, which is a German company that made like scrapbook paper ornaments, things like that back in the day, and they actually might still be in business, I'm not sure. But I found these in an antique store long ago and was really drawn to them because being silver, they look as though they've started to tarnish, which they kind of have. And when I started speaking with the man about them, he saw me admiring them, he told me that they are actually linen labels, and then I was hooked. So when linen arrived at general stores, wherever linen was sold many, many years ago, this was the fancy linen, the fancy label that like came sealed on the linen. And what's really cool is you can see at the bottom of all of these pieces of fragile ephemera, it says number whatever, this says number 185, 7.2 yards at the bottom. So there's a little tiny measurement written at the bottom. I don't know what I'm thinking you'll be able to read this, but being stitchers and people who work with linen and fabric, I knew that you would appreciate it and see why I was drawn to these. The little measurements are written down there. Isn't that so cool? Can't you just imagine a general store hundreds of years ago getting a fresh bolt of linen in, and it comes sealed in these beautiful, sealed with these beautiful pieces of paper. No wonder they got saved. This is a hummingbird, and here's a little bird in a nest. I can't see if you're in focus there, but okay, and you can kind of see the measurements marked at the bottom. But that's a little piece of needlework history for you that I've been meaning to share for quite a while. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. I think maybe just frame them because they're so beautiful. And I'm happy to have them in my collection. Maybe I'll find more in the future. You can do a quick search on Google if you want to know more about that, but how lovely. It's like the old script handwriting that was so beautiful back then. Things that have gone by the wayside that I really wish we would bring back. But anyway, one more random share for you. You ready? This is nail polish. You guys, I found out about the Essie brand Expressie nail polish because I have zero patience when it comes to letting my nails dry. I don't wear fake nails. I have awful nails and I have no patience. But this nail polish is so good. It dries extra quick. I love the Essie brand whenever I have used it in the past. So I was familiar with that, but I thought I would give these a try and they didn't disappoint. I got them on Amazon. You can get them in stores when they reopen, but they're called Expressie nail polish, and stitcher to stitcher, I felt like I had to talk about this because I'd rather be stitching than letting my nails dry, but this allows me to do both. So maybe tonight I will put some polish on my nails and get fancy. But that's it for my regular floss tube today. I'm gonna leave you with the home tour. Again, we did our best with the lighting. You'll have to excuse some dark patches, and we're learning as we go, but I hope that you like this. And there's more to come if you would like to see more. Let me know if you have any questions. And overall, just welcome to our home. Before I go, this is my last floss tube of the year, so I just wanted to give you a great big virtual hug and a thank you and a wish for a wonderful, happy, safe, healthy holiday with whoever you may be celebrating. Know that I'm thinking of you all and wishing you all the very best. So until next year, guys, enjoy my house tour and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey friends, welcome to the holiday house tour. We are doing an abridged version since it's my first house tour and I'm feeling a little nervous. I have Joe behind the camera recording me, thank you very much. So we're just gonna do kind of the common area, the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, and I'll give you a few sneak peeks of rooms to come in future house tours. So we purchased our house 4 years ago, and it's a split level house. It was built in 1959, and we've made a lot of changes so far, but we have a long way to go. This Christmas, I kind of pared everything back. I didn't go as over the top as I usually do for many reasons. We don't have many people coming to celebrate the holidays with us, and also I'm busy, and lastly, just was kind of not entirely feeling it this year. So I'll share with you the things that I did do this year, and we'll talk about plans for next year, dreams I have for this house, and stories about my favorite things in the house. So let me start with the entranceway, which we didn't start in because it's a little tight. This is kind of a makeover I did last year. I got that really cool arch, the pedestal, and a plant, just to kind of make the entrance welcoming and inviting. This year I just put some vintage inspired tinsel around the pedestal, the snowflake, and the garland there. You can see my plant skills with that plant leave a little to be desired. Then moving into the top level of our house, we have the living room, the dining room, and the kitchen that we'll get to. But this is one of my favorite little areas in the house. It includes my first ever antique sampler that was a gift from my mom last year. I think I shared it with you on social media, but it is actually the grain sack sampler. That's the original there. And then I have my map sampler, which mom gifted me for my birthday last year. It is a map of England and Wales. I love it very much. And I dream of moving abroad to England one day. Below, you just have antique treasures that I've found here and there. I've collected over the years on antiquing trips I've been on. This little 25 right here is kind of fun because they were the table numbers from our wedding, which was about 7 years ago. 7 years ago in 1 week? 7 years and 1 week ago? So I just saved the 2 and the 5 from the table numbers, and I repurposed them for holiday. These are also kind of a funny little thing. They are French grave markers, which sounds creepy to say, but I think they are one of the coolest things. I just absolutely love them. But we have had people stay overnight in our house that didn't feel comfortable staying in rooms with those, so it just makes me chuckle, and I think it's worth pointing out. Then we have the living area, we're in the living area, but we have the couch. This is where I do all my best stitching. You guys know that I start every morning stitching with a cup of coffee and good music. This is where I do it. I perch myself here and watch the world go by in our neighborhood. And then this is a new acquisition for me. It's probably one of my most favorite antiques that I own, this little terrarium. And I filled it with 3 live plants, some iron birds, and I think that my Santa husband has some pots from terrain coming to me for Christmas that I'm excited to repot those into and get some sort of like cutting board or fabric mat for that. Then come with me over here. This is a little cabinet. It's a cabinet. But this is my Putz house collection. These are old houses originally made in, I don't know if it's Japan or Germany. I'm sorry to say. They're Putz houses, P-U-T-Z, I should know that. And they're all vintage and just things I've collected over the years. I like the glittery snow effect. The windows, sometimes they're busted out, but I think it just adds to the charm. So that's where I put my Putz collection this year. This chair is something I'm very proud of. This is a deconstructed chair, that's the word. And I got it at the thrift store for $28, deconstructed it, put it back together, and now it's usually a little closer to the mantle over there, but we had to make room for the tree. The tree. I went with a new style tree this year. I believe it's called a noble fir. It's kind of the more sparse looking tree, borderline Charlie Brown, but not quite. So this is new and I really, really love it. I decided to keep it on the more simple side, and what you'll see on our tree this year is just antique glass bead garland. All of them are antique, and I tried to stay as silvery as possible, but you will see some colored strands in there and some multicolored strands as well. But overall, I just love the look, especially at night when I'm sitting on the couch with my glass of wine. The lights are on and the garland's strung, and I just think it's so lovely. You can see the Christmas paper theme that I went with this year. Brown paper packages, literally. So we'll get to those Christmas morning. There's some gifts from friends under there that have started to arrive that I'm so grateful for. The window, honestly, I just didn't know where to put that, so it kind of ended up in the center of the mantle, and I like it, so it's staying. When it came to decor this year, I vowed not to spend any money. Like, I just didn't want to spend money. The only thing I did invest in is live greenery. So you'll see live greenery on the top of the mantle, as well as live poinsettias over there. But that was it. I was like, no extra budget for Christmas stuff this year. Bah humbug. But I think the simplicity of it and the natural feel really adds to the look I was going for, which I think I said on Instagram once was European natural something, I don't know. Hopefully that's what I've achieved here. The mantle also has antique cotton doves, as well as my collection of bottle brush trees, all in that creamy white tone. Sometimes it doesn't show up well in photos, but there are snowflakes scattered throughout my massive oversized window frame, which was a find and really filled this space well. When we bought the house, you can kind of see there was a half wall above me, and it really divided the space oddly, and it was one of the first things we did was knock that down to open everything up. So I don't know how I got to that, but I'm just telling you about our house. So this is the mantle area where all the presents will be, and we'll all gather distance around the mantle and the tree this holiday season. Christmas. It's Christmas. All right, follow me as we enter our dining room area. The decor is minimal. This is really the only Christmas decor I have in the dining room is some greenery behind my ironstone plate. You'll see that I love sticking greenery behind pictures, behind anything hanging on the wall, really. So I did that up there. I have this kind of old world European wreath here. And then this is my French wire rack hanger. And on it, I put a bunch of things that you would find in an old world European kitchen, like garlic. I'm not sure that you'd find cotton there, but I thought it looked nice. My little sack that says 25, some vintage embellishments, and that's really it, aside from some tinsel on my hanging scale back there that I do in the dining room. So if you follow me on Instagram, and I think I even talked about it in my Floss tube, you know that last year my dad and I built a pergola out back, and it's really been so nice to use this year through spring, through fall, and it's really only until recently that we weren't able to get out there and use this space, but we hung some twinkle lights, and it's just a really nice addition to our dining area when we can flow outdoors. You'll see all of our feathered friends over there. We watch the birds, the squirrels, the chipmunks, the foxes, the deer, all of the animals from here. And then a quick pivot to your left, and you have our kitchen area. Now, when we bought this house, there were hanging cabinets right here. They were open-faced, open front. I'm not sure what the right word is for that. There were no doors, so you could see through all the cabinets, but it was really intrusive and I didn't like the divide that it created between the dining and the living room area. Dining kitchen area. So I think it was probably the first or second weekend that we owned the house. My dad came to town and we ripped that out to get the two rooms kind of flowing together. And then not long after that, Joe's dad built us these built-in cabinets for all of our plates and dishes, because we do kind of lack storage space in this kitchen, unfortunately. But it was a big improvement, and I think we have plans to improve the kitchen even more, but it kind of gets into that how long are we going to stay in this house kind of range. So we shall see. The kitchen decor is pretty minimal. I did put a bunch of my silver glitter Christmas decor above the cabinets up there. I intermingled that with my antique corbels, my antique scale, and some old blue and white drinking jugs. I've always got a candle burning in here. Love, love, love my cozy candles. Whoop. And then we're gonna wind it back into the living room area. Oh, I should mention, if you're looking at this and wondering what's going on, this is a brick column that houses our double oven on this side. And then believe it or not, we have a fireplace on the other side that I covered up. Shock, I know. I covered it up with my china cabinet that I'm going to show you in a second. And you'll see on the other side of this column in the living room, I have done a German smear on the brick, and I plan on doing it this spring to this side and this side of the brick column as well. So that's coming. Stay tuned. Alright, so if you're sitting on the couch stitching perhaps, this is the view you have. I have my antique jugs up top, an antique transom way up there, and then this really cool Christmas sign. I have no idea where it came from. It is antique. So for some reason, I always envisioned it in a store display for some reason. I just love it. And then this is my china cabinet that holds zero china. All it holds are my favorite things. So if you're interested, let me know. We could kind of go through this china cabinet together. I can show you my most favorite of my favorite things. But everything in here is vintage, probably sentimental to me, has a good memory, or it makes me think of something. So that's what you find in there. And this is the spot that I sit at for my floss tube videos, because I have this great window in front of me, natural light if it's a good day, and this is where you'll find me. Then we wrap up over here in this area that is your first view of our house when you walk in the door and come up the stairs. And it happens to be some of my very favorite things in the house. This is an old surveyor's tool, which I think kind of looks like a telescope, if you ask me. So I put it here in front of my glass stars and in front of my celestial maps of the heavens, which I think are so cool. Is that what they're actually called? Nope, just the constellations. And what you have are like diagrams, like here's a peacock and a snake and a narwhal. How cool is that? These are pretty rare and hard to find. I don't know how I stumbled upon two, but I'm always hoping to find more when I'm out antiquing. So, like I said, this is the view you get as soon as you walk in the house. You'll see that I put that greenery behind all of the pictures here. And I did this like swagged, this is faux greenery that I really love, but I swagged it around the hallway door, which leads to my office, the guest room, the bathroom, and the master bedroom back there. So I will leave you with a view down the hall because it is one of my favorite collections. Take a peek. I'm not going to take you down here, but take a peek at this collection. This is my French memorial plaque collection. They are all enameled black and white plaques. Are you seeing that okay, honey? And behind each one, I stuck that greenery for a festive feel. And it's just really striking as you walk down the hall. So that rounds out our home tour today. Like I said, I'm happy to do more home tours with you. We can even go through that cabinet. I have lots of plans for the future, but I hope you enjoyed visiting our home today, and thank you very much.